afternoon. My name is Lawrence Hibbert from BCT Partners. I wanted to share with you a little bit about BCT's data analytics practice. In particular, I want to talk about something that is challenging to many of our customers. It's about how do you optimize the performance of your program or your projects or your institution using the data that you have. Now, many organizations have already engaged in capturing lots of data through existing tools and systems. Now, they traditionally analyze that data using trend analysis, and then from that trend analysis generate some insights, and then with those insights hope to achieve performance improvement. But many don't, and many don't for some very specific reasons. One is that the trend analysis that they do generate is often very generic. It provides information in aggregate rather in details or specificity. Let me give you an example. We know that the current trends around unemployment rates show that unemployment rates are below 4%. Now, that's a great trend, and that would assume, if I look at that in aggregate, that most people have jobs, most people are well employed. But that's not the case, because we know that there are specific groups and subgroups of individuals that don't fit within that 4% unemployment rate. We know that veterans, we know that African Americans, we know that some minority and immigrant populations don't fit within that specific trend. So the trend, which is a generalization across the population, is not as applicable to specific subsections or subsets of the population. And so if I try to apply the general interpretation from the trend to a specific subgroup, I'm not going to be able to create the kind of impact and change that I hope to see. And that's because our analysis is flawed. What we want to do at BCT is change the way we analyze the data. We want to analyze the data with a new method, which we call precision analytics. Precision analytics is combining both machine learning, data science, the scientific method, and social science to bring an innovative approach to the way that we analyze data. We're going to analyze data by understanding the sets and subsets of individuals that live within populations and what really works for them. As a result of that analysis, we're going to generate specific interpretations of learnings for them. So in the same examples around unemployment, we're not going to just look at generic trends. We're going to say, what's happening with the African American population? What's happening specifically with veterans? Why is it that they're challenged? And what are the interventions that are being applied that work? Now, when we find the interventions that work, we believe that we want to do more of what works and less of what's not. That will create transformational impact when we apply the knowledge to specific cases. Now, most people have the data, but they don't know how to unearth the data. And that's the power of machine learning. It allows us to use the data that you already have today to be able to gain insights about specific items that work and apply that where appropriate. As a result of that, we can find out not only what works, but what works for a specific population. We also can discover causation. Not only what works, but why does it work? What are the factors that are connected to the difference? So I want to know what are the interventions that we can apply to African Americans to improve the unemployment rate. We also want to be able to use our money wisely, so we want to optimize our return on investment. We know that we're spending money to help generate better performance. Where are the areas where we're winning and where are the areas that we're losing? Through this approach, we can find that out. We can also address issues of bias and inequity. We can ensure that when we do provide services, they are not based on factors that are not as significant to achieving the outcomes, and that we aren't doing things that are inequitable or biased to this population. So again, using that same analysis, by understanding, by using precision analytics to be able to understand populations, we can find we can find outcomes that really work and change the dynamics of the way organizations perform and are run. We believe that this approach is revolutionary, and we're excited to bring it to you. Thank you.